Today on Starfield Essentials, your weekly Starfield news report. Happy birthday, Starfield! Let's look at the last year and see how you've grown since my last birthday video. It's possible Bethesda will release something between the time I write this script and publish the content. If that happens, I will include any news in my next weekly video. Look what dropped as I was recording this video! It's a Bethesda birthday message for Starfield. Here I've slowed it down to 1/4 speed. You'll see letters spelling out a title of some sort as the video rolls through. I first saw this decoded by Redditor Kn1ghtV1sta, and it appears to say Terran Armada. I'm so excited to see this! What does it mean? Perhaps it's a new faction. Maybe the reference to Armada indicates something to do with ships and space encounters. Whatever the case, great timing, Bethesda! I'm so happy I could include this in the video today. What do you think it means? Leave me a comment! Haha! Starfield is not dead. Looking forward to this whenever it drops. Great job. And now, back to the main video. Today I will cover version history and content, refuting the bad launch narrative, mods, free and paid, and the future. All stories have chapter markers for easy navigation and links in the description for sourcing. My name is Richard. Let's get started. Version history and content. Here's my exclusive chart showing the complete version history of Starfield. Bethesda has released 30 distinct versions of the game since it was first in the hands of any players, not counting one update that only affected the creation kit. If we pay attention to only updates in the last year, we can see the source of frustration for some players. Bethesda has not released any new in-game vanilla content since the Trackers Alliance in June 2024. Basically, all of the vanilla updates have been quality of life improvements, bug fixes, and performance tweaks for lower-end hardware. Let's look beyond this chart, however. It doesn't capture everything from the last year. We got a paid DLC, Shattered Space, on September 30th. I really enjoyed this content. I especially liked the side quests involving Reigen Ueda. I have a whole playlist about Shattered Space, with content ranging from spoiler-free impressions to my final verdict after playing for 30 hours. Next, we got 2 free creations on November 19th. The first was a quest mod, The Perfect Recipe. This was fun, but it's not something I intend to play again anytime soon. The second free creation was a new vehicle, the Daimog Rover, or Daimog Rover I guess. I personally use the S47 speeder for travel, or the default Rev 8. On December 10th, we got a really amazing free creation. I'll use the family-friendly name, @HadesGate. Bethesda Game Studios published this content, but Kinggath Creations developed it. I would consider this Doom crossover mod content to be a DLC of its own, but it's not formally labeled as such. I highly recommend playing it. I covered it in this video. Bethesda has been very quiet about Starfield over the last year. The news page is pretty bare. We did not get a year-end post in 2024 like we did in 2023. We just recently heard from creative producer Tim Lamb, as mentioned in my last video. He discussed new free updates, a second DLC, some sort of changes involving space, and new game systems. I expect we will see this revealed in new content, but the timetable is still uncertain. We have no idea if we'll get content this year or next. Maybe if you're watching this video, the situation has already changed. That would be good news. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. Almost half of you watching are subscribed, but half are not. If you want to tell the world and YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content, subscribing is a great way to do that. Thank you. Next, refuting the bad launch narrative. Recently, the Starfield and BGS anti-fandom, and frankly, people who don't know any better, have been pushing a bad launch narrative. According to this myth, Starfield was a disaster from the beginning, and only a Cyberpunk 2077-like rebuild can save it. If you're jumping up and down and saying, "This is a single-player game, just play and don't care what others think," here is why it matters. The more players, the more incentive for Bethesda to support the game. False narratives about the game deter new players from trying it. Therefore, debunking false narratives is important for the future of Starfield. In this section, I'm going to show one set of data that demolishes this revisionist story. One source of game data that is available to everyone is the Xbox Top 40 True Achievements Rankings. This is an independent site that measures gameplay by counting players who share their achievement status. True Achievements tracks activity for over 3 million Xbox players. They publish weekly, and something I've noticed about these rankings is that they are usually dominated by 5 games: Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, and Grand Theft Auto 5. It's really tough to knock these 5 out of the rankings. Let's look at Indiana Jones and Marvel Rivals as 2 recent examples of games making their first appearances on the list. These games appeared on the charts the same week, in the report for December 8, 2024, with Indy at 11 and Marvel at 4. In their second week, Indy rose to 3, while Marvel stayed at 4. In week 3, Indy stayed at 3, while Marvel dropped to 5. In week 4, Indy dropped to 7, while Marvel rose to 4. Rather than show all of the other details, I'll just highlight Indy's last unbroken appearance, week 13, at spot 31. Marvel was at spot 6. Indy was gone the following week. So 13 weeks for Indiana Jones seems like a pretty good run, right? And clearly, Marvel Rivals has real staying power. Let's keep those in mind. Since Starfield launched in September 2023, I've been watching its ranking, along with several other games. My list includes Starfield, obviously, Cyberpunk 2077, Skyrim, Fallout 76, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Baldur's Gate 3, No Man's Sky, Star Wars Outlaws, and Oblivion Remastered. And yes, please note, Baldur's Gate 3 released on Xbox 7 December 2023, Star Wars Outlaws 30 August 2024, and Oblivion Remastered 22 April 2025. Here is the first year of Starfield. Look at how Starfield stayed at number 1 for its first 6 weeks. Also, notice that of these first 52 weeks, Starfield was only missing 3 weeks. Here's the second year of Starfield. We can see the game's last appearance was the first week of December 2024. Let's use looking at year 2 as an opportunity to see how a supposedly successful game, Oblivion Remastered, fared. We could see its debut in the second spot, and its 13-week run. 13 weeks, just like Indiana Jones. Then it was gone. I don't have any hate for Star Wars Outlaws, but here you can see an example of a game that performed poorly on Xbox. It premiered at spot 19 and was gone after 4 weeks. Is there any way to quantify this and compare game performance? There is. If you assign a first place rank 40 points, a second place 39 points, all the way down to 40th place with 1 point, you can now add up points and compare performances. You end up with tables like this. Here is year 1. And here is year 2. As you can see, Starfield's 1 rank in the left table becomes a 40 in the right table. A 40 rank in the left table becomes a 1 in the right table. If you add up all the right table values, you get these results for the last 2 years. Starfield has absolutely dominated this class of computer role-playing game on Xbox. This is even more impressive if you consider that it might undercount for players who aren't earning achievements due to achievement-unfriendly mods, or players who don't care about achievements and would not bother using a site like True Achievements. Some of you might say, but Starfield started earlier in September 2023, whereas Baldur's Gate 3 arrived on Xbox 3 months later, or, as was the case with Oblivion Remastered, much later, and so forth. Look, BG3 had its run. Here it is in full, from December 10th, 2023, through its last appearance on May 4th, 2025. Too long didn't watch. Starfield has been a massive success on Xbox. And this is where the players are. Never mind the reports from modders, this channel, and others, that Xbox players are 5 to 10 times as numerous as PC players. Never mind the reporting by YouTubers like Starfield Eclipse, who show that Starfield daily player counts are in the tens of thousands, rather than the low thousands reported by Steam concurrent player counts, and I'll link to the video by Starfield Eclipse in the description. I mean, look at these daily player counts for the free Gravis suit, the free Daemog vehicle, and the paid Watchtower creation. Even as a paid mod, Watchtower has 30 to 40,000 daily players. Now that I've mentioned mods, let's turn to that category. Next, mods, free and paid. A year ago, there were about 8,800 Starfield mods on Nexus Mods, with almost 55 million downloads. This made it the 11th most modded game on Nexus Mods, behind 7 other Bethesda titles, along with Stardew Valley, Cyberpunk 2077, and Baldur's Gate 3. Today, Starfield is still the 11th most modded game, except now the mod count is over 11,100 mods. Looking at downloads, Starfield has moved from 17th place in 2024 to 12th today. Starfield continues to pass games ahead of it. How do I know? I've been tracking mod downloads for Morrowind, Starfield, Mount & Blade 2, and Witcher 3 for more than 8 weeks. According to my predictions, Starfield will pass Mount in December at around 118 million downloads. I don't currently see Starfield passing Witcher 3 until late February 2027. However, Starfield's mod download count continues to accelerate. Every week, the date at which I project Starfield to pass a game ahead of it gets closer. Looking at the creation site, last year there were over 1,800 creations. Today there are over 4,100. In May, I counted all 3,734 creations and determined that 89% were free and only 11% were paid. Furthermore, many of the paid creations were cheap achievement-friendly copies of free creations. There are several large mods in development, such as StarSim and Defying Fire, and the Star Wars Genesis conversion continues to impress. The mod community for Starfield is thriving. The "modders abandoned Starfield" narrative is old and misleading. Did some modders either stop working on Starfield or not start? Yes. Did many more modders start working on Starfield or begin modding for the first time? Absolutely yes. Are modders still waiting for animation tools? Also yes. I hope this changes soon. What about documentation? At this point, that seems like a lost cause. It looks like we'll still have to rely on tutorials and Discord assistance from volunteers. For example, if you want a tutorial on how to build your ship in the creation kit, please see my video on that. I haven't said anything in this video about how awesome so many free and paid mods actually are. If you'd like to see my last video on my favorite free mods, see this one. If you'd like to see my last video on my favorite paid creations, see this one. I also cover mods in every video, so feel free to browse the back catalog for ideas. And finally, the future. Where do we go from here? Like I said in my last video, I believe the future is bright. When I bought this game in the Microsoft Store in June 2023, I did not expect I would be playing it in 2025, much less in 2026. Yet, I'm now looking forward to whatever Bethesda publishes in the coming weeks and months. Although I use mods to tailor many aspects of the game, I would still like to see changes made to the Vanilla Edition. Every other week, I fire up my Xbox Series S and play a totally mod-free session of Starfield. In games like that, the most glaring issue I see is the POI algorithm. In non-vanilla games, I can use mods like POI Cooldown by Paul Brock to change how often I see certain POIs. If I'm playing on PC, I can use mods in the Permanent POI series by Paul Volvos to bring life to the dozens of other POIs that are boring in vanilla play. Will Bethesda incorporate changes like this into the base game? I hope so. What does that mean for those mods? I'm not sure. I do know that I will take a close look at any changes and reevaluate my playstyle and mod list to make the gaming experience enjoyable. Thank you to everyone who has been watching my videos over the last year, and I look forward to Starfield's 3rd year. And thank you to all my subscribers. Please consider subscribing to show YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content. Special thanks to all channel members. I hope you're enjoying our private Discord server. If you'd like to know more about membership, click the join button on the channel. There is no obligation. I use your contributions to pay for drives for capturing footage and to buy creations to review. What have you been doing in Starfield? Your insights make this channel a place for positive and honest discussion of this game. In addition to videos, I also post to the community tab for this channel on a daily basis. If you subscribe, you will see these posts in your YouTube feed. If you made it to this part of the video, please leave a comment with the word "Onward." Also, remember to ring the bell icon and select all notifications. Check out my other videos, and please tell your friends about the channel. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.